Hello everyone and welcome back. Just a quick video on the Jaguar XE today, and that is how to jack it up. So yes, hello everyone, and thank you very much for joining me once again. That might sound simple to some, however, I've actually been asked this question quite a few times, and for good reason. These aren't the easiest things to find the jacking point locations, definitely not the easiest to find where the axle stand should go. So today we're just going to do a quick video on exactly where those locations are. Okay, so first of all, if we look at the actual manual or on the Jaguar website, they actually give you the locations for the jacking point and where you're going to place your axle stands. Now, A equals where you're going to be jacking up from, and B is where the axle stands are. So let's get under the car and show you exactly where they are. Okay, so first of all, obviously we're going to need to jack the car up. So we're going to look underneath this sill here, and you've actually got covered plastic under trays. However, there's two brakes, one here and one at the back, and that's exactly where you're going to be jacking up from using a trolley jack. So it's just about here. There's a brake in the plastic, and you've got like a double section of folded metal here. So we're just going to place the jack on that piece there. This jack's got a nice little rubber pad, so that makes life easier and it's less likely to damage the actual jacking point as well. So we're just going to get that under there. Okay, so now that I've actually got it jacked up, I'll be able to show you a little bit better. As you can see, you've got this plastic cover here, which is on the sill, but you then have this little section here where it's now not covered. And you then get an extra skin of metal just about here, and that's exactly where the jacking point is. Okay, so obviously I haven't jacked up the rear just yet, however, because it is slightly off the ground, I'll now be able to show you exactly where that location is on the rear as well. So just like on the front, you've got this plastic cover in here, and then it stops just here. And again, this piece of metal here is a lot thicker. There's like 2 or 3 pieces of metal all put together. That is exactly where your jacking point is on the rear. Okay, so we've jacked up the front of the car, but now we really need to place an axle stand underneath there so that we're safe whilst we're working under the front of the car. So obviously if you're to do your front brakes, or if you're to be doing a service, this is exactly what you're going to be doing on both sides to get the front nice and high so you can actually work underneath it. So just like in the side skirts or the sills, everything's covered apart from where you're going to be placing your axle stand. So if you go back to the manual, these are the B locations that Jaguar have noted. So again, plastic covering, this section here is exactly where you're going to be placing your axle stand. Now I deliberately use these style of axle stands. I've got both the V shape and I've got these, but these are suited to this XE a lot better because this flat section here sort of sits exactly there, so it's nice and safe. So we're just going to place that into the location there, and we're going to slowly bring the car down because obviously as the car comes down, this is going to move. So I want to make sure that we get this completely lined up. So if we just bring it down nice and slowly, as you can see, it's now starting to shift away from the axle stand. So I'm going to leave it about there. I'm just going to shuffle that back along, do the same again. There we go, we're not quite there just yet. Now I can bring it fully down. And there we go. And now you can completely move the jack away, and you're now absolutely free to work on the front end. Obviously you'd have to do the same again on the other side to make the front completely level and nice and upright, but if you only need to access the driver's front wheel, this is exactly the process you'd do it. Right, so now we've done the front, let's have a look at the rear. Okay, so just like I mentioned on the front, obviously this side skirt here, or this sill here, is completely covered in plastic apart from that section just there. So that is where we're going to be jacking up the rear from. Okay, so now the rear's up in the air, we can again take a better look. So again, here is the plastic covering, and you've got a nice open section here with lots more metal. That's exactly where your jacking point is. Okay, so the rear axle stand location is actually a little bit easy to find. However, I do think it's a little bit more tricky to get it right so that you've still got enough room to work underneath. So the actual axle stand location point is this big bush here. This is what holds the rear subframe in place, keeps the rear wheels and rear axle, everything in place. So we're now going to need to place that axle stand there. Now the problem is, obviously if I don't adjust this axle stand, and I try and lower it on that, we've got this massive gap here, and by the time that's touched that, the wheel's probably going to be on the ground. So we're going to have to obviously raise this right up to about there. And again, so because I've got this plate here, I'm going to try and sit it exactly inside there. So now I'm just going to go round on the jack, just lower it down slowly. And again, just adjust it if needed. So there. Bring it down slowly again. There we go. And now we can bring the jack away. And we're now nice and safe to work on the rear. Obviously, if you wanted both rear, the whole rear end up in the same level position, you'd have to do exactly the same on the other side. Okay, so like I said, just a very quick video on how to get this Jaguar XE up on the jack and using the axle stand safely. So hopefully that helps you. If it does, please make sure you hit that subscribe button. The same with any of the Jaguar XE videos I've done. So the brakes, the full service, the AdBlue. If any of them help, please make sure you hit that subscribe button. And now hopefully being able to jack it up and place on axle stands will help you just that little bit more. So thank you very much for watching, and until the next time, I'll see you then.